So when it comes to this channeling business, it's all about getting the body top notch. That's really it. And this is the calibration that me, the knower, does with my feeler all the time. It is a calibration, and certain things just needs to go, right? In order to have this connection running continuously, there are certain factors that needs to be in place. And all of those factors are taught inside of the Holistic Optimizer program. All of the calibrations that's needed to calibrate to channel like this. All of that, all of the adjustments needed inside of the body, because it's not just one thing, it's many different habits that make up this connection with higher intelligence. And those things needs to be repeated. That's why we brought through these 28 days of consciousness shift to support you and your upliftment. So if you haven't already, sign up for these 28 days of consciousness shift, and they will raise you up in frequency. And they are sort of like a foundation for this whole training. It is a training how to live in the holistic perspective that we're providing, really. That's what everything is about. It is about correcting enough energy, enough habits, so that your energy flows through properly, through your bodies. That is the teaching. That is Jesus' teaching. That is what he was here to teach us all the way back then. This is what we're here to teach you. How to do all of that. How to take your body up in frequency. You have been very confused, my friends, about what energy is and how that operates. And so the game is to be really real with yourself, so that you get back online with your body. Because that's the only game that there truly is here. If you want to raise in frequency, unless you want to just spin on a plate. Some plates are smaller and it's easier to catch. Some plates are bigger and it might take you a few cycles to really catch that you are in one. There is a way of looking at this reality and maneuvering it that is needed in order for you to be successful, to sort of graduate, to get the badge of honor that you are actually channeling and not just listening to all the thoughts. Because there are different ways of channel. You can channel just through thoughts, but you can still be not embodied. There are many channelers like that. But the whole game is to be embodied when you do that, so that you don't have any misconception with your channeling. That's also the reason why you need to calibrate, to train that muscle of channeling, so that you are actually channeling and not channeling toward it with other realities. These things are all linked, my dears. So unless you carry it out with your body and train a new way of operating, that's what we're inviting here. And so, yes, we know that so many beings are wanting healing energy. And that is a passive way, a passive approach to your own life that we do not recommend, because then you're sort of dragged along following helping hands. The main thing about your entire life is to start to master it. Listen to Gaia. It's to start to master your own energy. Because when you do, your life will completely flip. Because you're finally connected to your body the way that you're meant to be connected to your body. And that is a training. It requires training, not just sitting and receiving energy or receiving information. Information and alignment is needed. That is the first step. But there has to be aligned action for you to start your life like this. You're not meant to just cruise on autopilot in your life, right? You're not meant to do that. So, get in your body. Start to live. Do you know if you are listening to just thoughts about what you should be behaving like? The way you see it is evidence around you. Because if you're seeing evidence of the dualistic nature all around you and you want to go home, that just means that you're outsourcing the problem, but you're still manifesting it somehow, somewhere in your belief structure, right? And so that is necessary to be corrected. And it might sound that we sort of know what is correct, but when you see it accurately, it's not that you have many options. You don't. You either have in alignment or out of alignment. That's the only two options that you have. But because you're trained to think, you think that you have all these options. But it's just because you're not looking wide enough to see the bigger picture of energy. Because you keep pretending that energy doesn't exist, or like, you know, like psychics, oh, that's all that, what? I don't believe in that. You know, like you do all these, not all of you, but many beings do all these things. These weird things with their psychology to create the stuff that they're creating. But when you see accurately from where we're sitting, you're either in alignment or you're not, in every moment. Gaia, confirming. So keep practicing. Keep going through these 28 days. They are important. They are a lifeline for these times. These coming times, these are required learnings if you want to continue to stay on this planet. It's not a choice anymore. We have to align to this way of being. There is no other choice. Beings have been confused about this, A Course in Miracles, and because they've been intellectualizing it too much. Think about it more as you are aligning to a different way of thinking. That's why the first time you hear A Course in Miracles, you might not understand anything, or at least very little, of what it actually is talking about. That's because it aligns your thinking to a different frequency. It's like a baby learning to understand language for the very first time. It's sort of similar. So all you can do is immerse yourself in this deeper and deeper, and dive into the nitty-gritty of things, so that you can start to make the alterations and connections that you need, so that this energy and this comprehension can land fully. And in the meantime, you do the best you can, of course. You use Gaia sessions to calibrate your system, or if you haven't, you can go and get one. There is a link to the store in the bio now, actually. We felt that the store might be a bit hidden for many people, so we just dropped it directly in the bio, so it's easy to find, and that's how it is. So you have some ways to get started with this consciousness shift and to keep going. There are many free ways of you to do this, so that you can start, but we highly recommend that you dive in to these 28-day in the Holistic Optimizer. That is really where the whole teaching, we start to go deeper into all of these things that is needed on a micro level with each person, type of thing, you know. That's why we have all of these group sessions, so that we can, once you have gone through enough of these 28 days, you will start to have questions. It is natural, because as you're transitioning from one way of thinking to another way of being, really, it is an adjustment, because there are many internal switches that needs to happen, and many beings are at different levels here. And so we have done our best to create a program that is highly personal, because it's this being's personal experience, and how he maneuvered his body, being completely out of alignment, and maneuvered his body all the way from, disempowered, really bad habits, and just complete dualistic perspective, but also heavy on the victim mentalities, not good enough, those types of things. And it is the whole transformation that has the shifts and the channelings needed to transform all of that, to listen and hear the guides more and more, to what you need to do with people, how you need to manage your space, and how you actually have a difficult conversation. So do you actually learn how to claim your energy, so that you actually do it. And the Kenneth, the body, with the soul of Kenneth, so it's the knower, the feeler, right? It's all those two components of who we are. We have worked so much with the body to get to this place, to commune with Jesus, with higher intelligence, because it's not just Jesus. We feel like there is a plethora of beings in the non-dualistic perspective, in the holistic perspective, when you align to it, right? But there needs to be calibration, so that you see energy accurately. And that holistic optimizer journey, level 1 to level 3, that is that journey that I took from being completely disempowered to channeling Jesus, to going and starting to speak in front of a camera again. I didn't want to do anything from that low state. And so I've used and I've connected so much, and I was prepared for this. I was prepared to do this. And I had forgotten in the dualistic perspective. And then I experienced so much suffering that I remembered. Sometimes it is like that. And then sometimes you have to get your body back again. Back functioning, back trusting. Because it was the one that thought that the world was a certain way. But no, it was false. We were living under false pretenses from the past. That's what we were doing. And so now we finally have the right compass. I mean, we can tell you it's about living from the inside out. But like, that's something you have to experience. No matter how much we talk about it, will you experience it? This is not something that can be transferred in frequency. You can feel the frequency and you can align to it the best that you can. But you have to take the steps with Gaia from where you're at. So we wanted to share that so that you know a bit more what this is about and what you will be learning inside of these level 1 to level 3 in the Holistic Optimizer. It is very deep self-psychology in a way. You are putting the pieces of your life together. You are injecting exactly what you need to inject to improve your life. Wherever you are, that's the beauty. Whatever stage that you are on, this is where it will benefit you, because it is built from the holistic perspective. It is aligning wherever you are to the holistic perspective. So if you are a channeler, it just aligns you to a better channeler. So if you are a mathematician, it just aligns you to be a better mathematician. Perhaps bring through and connect it with spirituality and create some magical things here. What this whole thing is a Kickstarter. It's fully turning on the dial on your electromagnetic field, making the corrections needed in your energy field. That is sort of what we're doing. It's like sort of energy surgeon type of things that we are operating with here. And so the way to get started, if you haven't already, there are different levels here, you see? And wherever you are in your readiness, there is another step for you to deepen your practice into this way of being and operating, just like the Course in Miracles is trying to lead you, and that is to the holistic perspective. So now you have a hands-on way to practice. There is no excuse anymore, my dears. So get started. Start to dive in to this way of operating. It is where the future of the world is heading. It is where health, wealth, prosperity, it is the correct frequency to operate under to experience miracles. That is what we taught with the Course in Miracles. It is all of that. It is leading you to this new sort of rebirth, quantum shift. It's all of that. And it's truly teaching you all the steps from wherever you are. That is the program that the Holistic Optimizer is. Wherever you are on your journey, you can connect to that and you can ascend and start to learn how you ascend as an ascended master. Just the same as Jesus did back then. Just the same as Kuan Yin have done. Just the same as so many other ascended masters also have done to calibrate the system, to get the clarity needed in this whole experience, so that you start to inject everything that you need to inject in order to live your life here, in order to master your life fully, so that you can thrive in joy and prosperity, and deeply grateful for this experience and what it can produce for you. This is a magical creation space, but you have to know the workings inside in order to paint. That is what this is teaching you. It should be in everyone's foundational learning of how it is to be a human. It should be in your school systems. These are very important teachings. They will correct a lot of the confusion that we're seeing in the dualistic perspective. It will correct all of these mental health issues that people are talking about. They are just ideas. They're not even real. They're just constructs that are created, and then those constructs just create realities. We have to comprehend what we're doing with our energy. It's very important in how we move forward as a species here, creating our own heaven on earth. That's what we wanted to share for this one. Take care. We love you. And we'll talk to you again in the next one. Ciao. This was from so many beings. The Ascended Masters. There are so many beings that have ascended like this. You are being welcomed as another member of the Ascended Masters. These are the teachings, and we are ready. We are welcoming you to join us. We love you. Take care, and we'll talk to you again in the next one. Ciao.